and I just wanted to make sure that I got everybody's reaction.
That is worth the wait.
Was it worth the wait?
That's great.
Like, I got nothing from Gabe. I got nothing.
I'm just like,
It's just another day.
I mean, see you walking on the street, I'd be like, what's up, Jude?
What's up? What's up? I bust out my bonehead every year. It is like my signature.
That's pretty good.
Julie's bonehead.
I love my bonehead. Oh my God. This was from a very, very dear friend of mine who actually passed away. And every time I wear it, I think of her. So, and we used to spend
Nice.
Halloween. It was wonderful. So Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy
Happy
Halloween,
Halloween.
everybody. We've got some of us who are into it, and then we got Gabe, and we got Andrea.
I'm dressed as like an urban dude, man.
I love it.
I
You're
just
scaring me,
love
Gabe.
dress
Take
up.
that off. Take that off.
What? What? See?
I'm so much of a freak in real life. I don't need to dress up.
Ah.
Oh, you mean that's not a costume? My
Oh,
bad.
where's the drum roll?
Yeah, same here. I actually wear this year round.
I love it. And Gabe, you're urban, dude. You kind of look like that guy that they're looking for from the January 6th with the
Always look like one of those guys you're looking for.
Which one?
You fit the description.
who fits the description. Gabe fits the description. I love it. All
I
right.
was born a suspect. What can I do?
I know. I love it. All right. I think we have some great books to talk about this week. It has been such a great fall. Okay. I listened last week. I missed it last week and I listened to it again on the drive home. And I was like, I love it. I love listening to it. It was really fun. And Gabe, you made me, I can't remember what you said, but you made me laugh. So I was driving home giggling at something you said. So I think we do need to figure out how to just like throw this onto a podcast.
Although this right here would not translate into a podcast.
No, it would not. So there has to be so it could be, I don't know. No, we would never just make this a podcast. Oh, my bones are underlying Warwick's.
There you go.
They're paying, I'll point to Warwick's since 1896. Anyways. I love Tom. Tom, you're gonna be, I love it. All
Sounds
right,
in the
so
spirit, man.
Tom,
That
in the
is
spirit.
that is not a haunted Mike Nichols. That is not the intention. Not at all.
I love it. I think it's great.
So
Okay,
do
it's
I,
gonna go.
should
What,
I
go ahead.
talk about a book?
Well, so Tom, Gabe, Amanda, and Andrea will be the order. And so Tom, take it away.
Okay, so should I shine my light like this?
Oh
Please do.
yeah.
How
Please
do
do.
I wish I were talking about scary books, but I'm not. I'm talking about great books.
You're talking about a really good book right now.
Yeah. So this one is a book, so Trespasses by Louise Kennedy. This is the book that I have been waiting to talk about for 6-8 months that it just couldn't come soon enough. And now just before the holidays, Trespasses is hitting the stores. So and there are books that, oh, I love it. Yes. There's a big fan.
Big deal at our house. Big
Big
deal at our
fan in
house.
your house. Yeah, I was gonna say. There are books that, there's so many books that I recommend that I really, really like or love. But then there are books that just, it's a deeper level of love. And this is one of those. So it's set in, and it's a first novel. Louise Kennedy, I think, is in her 50s, but this is her first novel. So she's lived a life, and it comes through in every texture in the book, every sentence, every word. So it's set in the Troubles in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, in mid 1970s, and it's a love story. At its heart, it's a love story. So it's about Kushla, who is she's a teacher. She's also works in her family's pub, and she falls in love with an older married man who she, for many, many reasons, Catholic Protestant, shouldn't be falling in love with. So that's the basic outline of the story, but you can, like, as you Gabe, hold up that cover again. You can see in the prose, you can smell the smells of that pub and that place. You can taste the beer. It just, every detail just comes through in such a beautiful way. And she's a master. Like, it's amazing to come across a writer who, with her very first book. Now she did have a previous collection of short stories, which had just won, which Colin Tobin just gave an award to. He was the judge for it. That collection we will publish in the States next year. but we're publishing Trespasses first to get the word out about what a great writer Louise Kennedy is. So hit stores tomorrow. It's a labor of love. It's a book that Riverhead is publishing, and they had high hopes for it, but all the reps completely flipped for it. We've been telling all of our booksellers about it. It's an indie next pick. There's a lot of indie bookseller love. And then now, starting this past weekend, the reviews are starting to run. So it's a great review in the Washington Post. There's a review, which if I can read here we go, from Oprah Daily today. They call it absorbing, vivid, skillful, wise, far beyond its first book status. Vaults Kennedy into the ranks of such contemporary masters as McCann, Claire Keegan, and fellow Sligo resident Kevin Barry. So this is why we do this, for discoveries like this, writers like this, who you're not going to hear about any other way but through indie bookstores like Warwick's. So go out and read Trespasses by Louise Kennedy.
I wish I had my copy, because I'd be holding it up too, because it is so, it's the top in my top 5 this year for sure.
That's great.
No question.
mine
It
too.
is just, and the title, I put this on my little blurb.
Yes.
The title, absolutely, at the end of it, you just go, brilliant title.
Yeah, and she nailed the
Brilliant.
ending. Like it's bookended in this way that is, I thought, just perfect. And you're
Yes.
right about the title. And if you grew up Catholic like me,
And me
there's a
too.
lot of resonance here.
Trespasses means a lot of things. And
Yeah,
so
it
it, it's just so good. It's just that perfect book that is, it's just, there wasn't a flaw. There was
Yeah.
just not a flaw in it.
And I love that she's not trying to do anything, formally daring. She's not
No.
breaking the form. She's just writing a great book and telling it exceedingly well.
Right. No, precisely. It's not form. It's not like some, it's just everything about it is everything you want in a book. And it's going to be such a great book club book. Book clubs are going to have so much to talk about. So
Lots to
yay.
talk about.
Glad it's finally out. I've been waiting for that one too.
I
Yeah.
guess I better jump on that. Apparently,
should.
Yes.
apparently I'm late to the game.
Tom will get you a
That's what I'm
copy.
here for, to let you know.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it's come up. Has it come up before? I think somebody must have talked about it.
I think I did way back and asked
Oh,
Tom
yeah, I
about
think
it,
so.
but
That's
but it
right.
was kind of a teaser sort of thing where it's just like because when I finished it, I couldn't stop talking about it.
That's the way we've been at our house. Deborah read it and she was just like,
I need
she reads
people
a
to
lot
talk
of
to.
stuff
Yeah.
and most of it is like whatever, but she really was like, wow. So I had to pick it up. She was going on and on and on. It's like Claire Keegan.
Right.
It reminded me of John Boynton, not in the way the book is necessarily done, even though that's a very straight up narrative,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
epically historical, but it's just a really the surprise and how much I loved it.
Yeah.
Because, I just, it's when, like Tom's saying, you finish it and you're just like, wow.
Just
I will
love it.
reread that, or you can't go back and read it for the first time again. It's
I
one of those-
know
right,
that's
that's
the
right.
thing. That's such the thing, and it's just like oh yeah. It's just one that you want to talk about when you're done with it for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Book club.
All right. Oops. Let me do this. And Gabe. Oops. What am I doing? What am I doing? My bonehead being a bonehead.
Appropriately.
Appropriately being a bonehead. All right, Gabe. Maybe you need to borrow my bonehead, Gabe.
Scary. I come with sound effects, not just a pretty face. Speaking of pretty faces, I struggled whether to discuss this book at all because, like, I don't know if the tea time crowd is the Charles Barkley crowd, but
I love him though.
everybody loves Charles. He's a complete bonehead. Speaking of bonehead, he can be an absolute bonehead. He's not gotten to Kyrie Irving or Kanye status yet. but
No.
he has said some dumb things, but he's just super candid. But the thing about him, he's a really likable guy. And 99% of the time, he's really funny. He's really genuine. He's always just Charles, And
Right.
I like they just got like a 10-year contract at the NBA TNT team because they work so well together. So they're together for the next 10 years. And he's a big part of the fun of that show. And All-Star Weekend, that show is fun. A lot of it due to Charles. So this is a definitive biography of as definitive as you can be without being Charles. Timothy Bell is the author. He interviewed like 315 people. I mean, he really dug deep, and he's been working on this for a long time. But you can see it's a LitHub most anticipated book of 2022. And I really like LitHub as a center for the word and all things literary. So it's kind of fun to see Charles being anticipated there. But it's just, it is just to look at the kid who was raised by his mom and his grandma, Alabama, country, awkward, and how basketball, he found something that he loved and flourished. But he is just, it's a really fun, he's a character. He's a genuine American. He's like a piece of Americana almost, Charles Barkley, with his upbringing, his rural Southern country upbringing, and the way he's become the success of sports. It's one of those great American stories. And he's got his flaws, he's definitely not a perfect man, but a lot of fun to read. And I think he does have a lot of fans outside of the basketball world
I agree.
that
And I
will
think-
come to this.
And I think even though he has his flaws, and it's, he still is, like you said, he's very genuine. And I think that this is going to be that great gift book for a guy that you don't know what to get, and he's a sports guy.
Exactly.
This is the perfect gift.
Yeah, because everybody does love Charles, and we published a couple. He wrote a couple of books in the 2000 to 2010 and that time period. I can't remember exactly when, and I can vouch for him being who you see is who he actually is in real life.
Yeah,
which is
Love
cool.
it.
Well, that's a great cover too. I mean, people are just going to pick it up
Yeah.
and look at it. It's just, that's a great shot of him.
You know who you're getting.
Love it. Okay, Amanda, what you got for us?
Yay, my turn. The computer will cooperate. Excellente. Here we go. So out tomorrow, I have for you Meredith Alone by Claire Alexander. This book actually has been selected for an Indie Next Pick for November. So it does out tomorrow. And this book is actually, I think, really timely. It is about a young woman who suffers from agoraphobia. And it is about her coming to terms with that and how to basically re-enter the world. I think a lot of people are feeling that, being at home for so long, and how do you safely go out into the world, and how does that look now? So I think that draws a lot of parallels to kind of what's going on with, again, we've been sheltered for so long, and now we're starting to go back out. It is beautifully done. It is a very uplifting story. I will say that. And it's just actually really beautifully packaged as well. So there we go. Meredith Alone by Claire Alexander.
Nice
I love
jacket.
it.
Beautiful
But
jacket.
yeah, it's a really good cover. And yeah, you're right. I mean, this seems like it's the perfect time because people are, I'm still and I've been out and about and doing stuff, but it still feels like there's times where it's just like, I just like being home. Just like hanging out at home. All right, Andrea, what do you got for us? Oop, we got to unmute.
Am I unmuted now?
Now you are.
Sorry.
Speaking of Claire, yeah.
Speaking of Claire Keegan, and also echoing Tom in his having to wait for months and months to talk about a really excellent book. I second that emotion here with Foster, by the great Claire Keegan, author of Small Things Like These, that was up for the Booker Prize, but unfortunately did not win this year. But there's other awards for this one, I am sure. She's a fantastic Irish writer, and this is a very slender book. She started as a short story writer. There it is right there. Thank you. She started out as a short story writer, and so I think this is called a novel, but it's really a novella. I mean, it's like 120 pages or so. And that is just that format. She she nails it every time.
it.
And this is no different. With the UK, Faber and Faber did the UK version, and that's sold over like 150,000 copies already. And we just think this is gonna gain considerable traction over here once it publishes. The early reads on this are great blurbs. There's going to be some good reviews. And you know, what's going on? Let me see who's it was named already one of the 50 best books of the 21st century. And it earned her comparisons to William Trevor, Annie Proulx, and John Cheever. Okay, these comparisons are not too soaring, I'm telling you. And then as you can see here on the cover, as good as Chekhov, that's what the great novelist David Mitchell says. Again, I really don't think that is too much of a hyperbole. She is just so good. Here, the late great Hilary Mantel says, Foster confirms Claire Keegan's talent. She creates luminous effects with spare material, so every line seems to be a lesson in the perfect deployment of both style and emotion. I'm not going to tell you too much about the story here. Just give you the larger outlines, because I don't want to spoil this. Like, it is such a treat, and you can read it in a night, and I defy you to try not to, because it's just so addictive. But basically, a young girl goes to stay with her aunt and uncle because her parents have too many children. They're poor. The father's drinking away the money and can't really afford to take this girl. Some secrets are revealed along the way, and it's told from the child's point of view, but it does go back and forth. But there's a lot of great scenes told from the child's point of view. And I cried over the course of the last 2 or 3 pages. I bawled my eyes out. I wept. I don't do that, okay? That's not something, that I do when I read, really. But I just, I'm telling you folks, I just cried my eyes out. It was so beautiful. The ending is beautiful. The writing's beautiful. This is $20 hardcover in that small little format that Gabe showed you. It's going to be a beautiful little package to give to the people on your list. But you know what? Buy yourself one too. Go in and buy about 3 or 4 copies and keep one for yourself, because this is dynamite.
Or do buy the other one too. What's it? Small Things?
Got a
Yeah,
copy
small
of
things
Antarctica
like
too.
these. Yeah, small
got it written?
things like these. That is a Christmas story, really.
Right.
there you
So
go.
small things like these packaged with this one, tie up a little bow. Nice little
Perfect.
Christmas package there, I'm thinking.
Perfect.
Okay, Amanda, Beth on here has a great story. So hold on, let me see if I can go back to it, because there was a comment on it. So Beth Doherty, so she won a signed copy of Meredith Alone in a UK auction to support Ukraine. And so she actually got to name a character in her next book too. So she said to keep an eye out for Myrna Warren when it comes out.
Love it.
So awesome, Beth.
That's cool.
So
That's cool.
That's amazing.
I love that. I love that you got to name a character. How come you didn't name the character Beth Doherty? That's what I want to know.
Right?
That's what I would have done.
Okay.
We know that's what Julie would have done.
Slavinsky and Napa. For sure. Oh my God, I love it. All right. Tom Benton.
Okay, wait,
Next.
let me get my light.
Oh yeah.
And Andrea, you're talking my language with William Trevor references. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, she actually won the first William Trevor Short Story Award
Oof.
back in the day with her first collection, Antarctica. So there is a lot of connections there.
Yeah.
We got some women with some chops today on some books here.
Yeah.
Antarctica also LA Times book prize.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
The LA Times
That's
book prize
big in
sneaks
my
up
house.
on you.
Yeah.
That
I
LA
know.
Times book prize, you go back and look, and there's some really,
And there's some
yeah.
really
goodies
good,
early
there are
on.
some really good ones on there.
Yeah,
You're right.
really early on too.
Yeah.
you're right. Okay, so my next book is, I don't get to do this very often, and I'm doing it in the dark, but because I don't have a
Ooh.
lot of cookbooks, but
Right.
I have a great one. It's called
Who's-
Apricot Lane Farms Cookbook. And they are in Moore. This farm is in Moore Park. So between like Thousand Oaks area. And there's a documentary about them on Hulu called The Biggest Little Farm, I think it's called. It's not that long and it's really entertaining. It's great. And I was lucky enough a few weeks ago to go to the farm and get a tour of this organic, it's actually huge. It's hidden away in Moore. You'd be shocked. You're in Moore Park, so not that far from Ventura, and you're a million miles away. I mean, it is. They took in 2011. They bought this. This was a couple who decided they wanted to leave the city, and they had this dream, and they bought a horse farm in Moore Park. So it was nothing like it is today. They created this, kind of Eden of farming with there's animals, there's we picked fruit off the tree, and then we ate some food, some of the recipes that had been prepared. So let me show you. So it's done seasonally. So I'm going to show you some pictures, which I again don't usually get to do. So there's this is
Who's the pub on this, Tom?
it's Avery.
Okay.
And Avery is doing really good cookbooks. This is for I have to admit, I didn't recognize the beauty of chickens until the day I was at that farm. I didn't realize you could have so many different types of chickens. They're different colors, they're different, they're kind of fascinating. I had no idea. We ate the cinnamon and orange infused crispy carnitas.
Ooh.
As you can kind of see there. So it's filled with great stories from the farm. And there were animals galore, as I say, chickens, cows, sheep. It's an incredible place, and to be hidden away in Moore Park, who knew? So it's exciting to have this, perfect for the holidays. I think it's $40 or $45, which is a great price for what you get here. It's a big book. The foreword is by Alice Waters. So Molly Chester is the author, and she'll be on local KTLA tomorrow. She's going to be doing a lot of good media. You'll be hearing about this book. So there it is, the Apricot Lane Farms Cookbook.
Love it. Okay.
It's cool.
Little fun fact about me and chickens. So I grew up in just a little suburb of Los Angeles, and I'm the youngest of three, and I was not allowed to have really a pet because they didn't want dogs because they already did that. We had a cat. So rooster was my pet. So I had a
Oh
pet
my God.
rooster.
That is a fun fact.
I had a pet rooster, and they're very territorial. So it used to it was in the bottom of our rabbit pen, and it was pecking at the rabbit. So we had to let it out. So it just kind of ran around the yard, and we were in a carpool, and it used to chase the kids back home when they would try and come down for carpool because he didn't want anybody around the house.
Oh, wow. Well,
So they're good little watchdog kind of things.
this may relate to my fun fact about chickens. So growing up, my mom, for some reason, when she was a child, so a long time ago, I think she was afraid of chickens. I'll put it that way. So something happened in her childhood. Maybe the rooster chased her or
Right.
something. And so she couldn't stand the sight of chickens. So maybe that's why I didn't know. I was never really allowed to look at chickens. So
The
I
beauty
had
of
no
chickens,
idea.
man.
The beauty
She
of
deprived
chickens.
you.
Okay, before you go, Gabe. So Beth Doherty's on here, Tom. Okay, so I guess supposedly Beth Doherty, that name shows up in Rebecca Mackay's new book. So she couldn't.
That's right. I thought that name jumped out at me as I read the Rebecca Mackay. Yes. Why? Does she know why?
No, I don't know. I don't know why that's. But so Myrna is Beth's mom's name, and Warren is her dad's name. So that's how she
Oh,
came up
so
with
she did.
Myrna Warren.
Right.
Nice.
So yeah.
So nice
So
little
she did the
tribute
right
there,
thing.
Beth. Love it. So, anyways, I love all these fun facts that come out of this. So, okay, Gabe, take it away.
Taking it away. Second book is a real easy sale for the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
Just gift books today from Gabe. Some you can give away to any film buff, which is probably most people in and around LA and Southern California. So this is Quentin Tarantino cinema speculation, and what it is, it's just basically a little like I was looking at the Bob Dylan book, where Bob Dylan just picks songs that he finds affected him, or that he feels are important, or carried on a tradition, whatever importance he found in them. He writes a short little essay. Sounds like easy money. And that's kind of what Quentin Tarantino is doing here. He picks up, chooses, good 20 movies that he has been impressed by, that he feels are important, that, speak to the tradition of Hollywood in some special way, and in his own voice, in a very Quentin Tarantino, very, very ordinary voice. He snips away at some he's a little snippy at, some he's fawning about, but he's a really bright guy, and he talks a mile a minute, and he kind of writes that way. So there's a little bit of a manic pace to the book, but just what he feels about cinema. So it's interesting. Yeah, he's a pretty accomplished. You kind of dismissed Quentin Tarantino sometimes as sort of a spectacularist, but he's got a pretty good body of work, and definitely some solid films behind him. So I think he knows of what he speaks. I think he honors the cinema in this book. So I'm happy to have it. I'm happy to promote it. And we just did a year ago, we did another Quentin Tarantino book, which did very, very well as well.
Love it.
He's
Yeah, you're right.
Great talker about anything, but especially movies, and he has encyclopedic knowledge too.
He's pretty, yeah.
So who was on the cover? That was Steve McQueen, and do you know, was that?
I didn't even look at it that long.
It looks to me like Steve McQueen, and I was going to guess
Mike Nichols.
No, definitely not Mike Nichols.
No, I know.
I don't know.
Katie,
I was going to say who was the director of Wild Bunch? Sam Peckinpah, but
Peckinpah.
I don't know.
This is Bullet. I'm not even sure where this is from.
Bullet. Yeah.
Is it Bullet? I don't know.
Oh well.
Okay,
Steve-
Tom, we have to go back to you again.
Yeah.
On the Beth Doherty story and the Rebecca Mackay. So Beth says, I love this. I love how this chat is going. She says it's a long story, but it is her in the Rebecca Mackay.
I wondered about that. Okay.
And so I just asked her, we'll find out if she's actually friends, but she I guess Rebecca asked her if she'd mind if the character wasn't very nice. I love it. So the saga continues on the Beth Doherty.
That's great. Well, that reminds me, I think I told this on Tea Time, that I was not asked if Tom Benton could be used in Ali Hazelwood's The Love Hypothesis, but he is quite a terrible person, and I was not. You
were not consulted?
No, she didn't come to me and say, "Is it okay if I make you a real
jackass?"
Yeah.
Not a good person. Did not like it.
I love it.
This was right after the picture of your FaceTime while I was reading that book. So sorry.
I said this before, just go online, and there's so many TikToks that are about how much they hate Tom, how horrible he is.
I think we need to start grabbing
hate
those.
mail, Tom?
Wait, we need to grab those and put them on your feed. We need to grab them and put them on your Instagram.
What the world thinks of Tom Benton.
Exactly.
I mean,
I'm gonna find one on my phone. I'll play it for you.
Okay, and here's what I think we need to do. When I think Rebecca Mackay's book comes out, is it February, Tom?
I think so. February, yeah.
Okay, Beth Doherty, we need to have you come on and tell us
Yes.
the Beth Doherty story, and the Rebecca Mackay book comes in. So I think that would be a great story to have on here. All right, Amanda, what you got?
All right. So next up, I have the next book from N.K. Jemisin, The World We Make. So this is the follow-up. Let's see if I can. So here he goes. This is the follow-up to The City We Became. So it is a duology. And so all is not well in the city that never sleeps, even though the avatars of New York City have temporarily managed to stop the woman in white from invading and destroying the entire universe. There's a new mysterious enemy that has powers. There's also a new candidate for mayor who's wielding the populist rhetoric of gentrification, xenophobia, and law and order. And he is probably going to destroy what is left of New York itself. So now the avatars need to join together with the other great cities of the world in order to bring down the enemy and this mayoral candidate to save the world. So there you go. Super fun, super excited. There will be signed copies available for this one. So yay, super excited for the new N.K. Jemisin.
I was trying to think, is that the only two that they've written?
No, they did the
I can't remember either.
5th season.
That's the one.
That's the
That's the one that I'm thinking of. Yeah.
So no, solid selection of titles there.
Yes. Okay, perfect. All right, Andrea.
Okay, come on now. I want to talk about a trade paperback title this time. This is this was out in last year. It was out in hardcover, but 5 Tuesdays in Winter now in trade paper, publishing tomorrow, by the great Lily King, author of Writers and Lovers, among other amazing books. This is told, it's about, well, okay, it's $17, and this is my second Grove book of the day. Grove Press is like on a roll. But yeah, this is about like a wide range of characters, all told in like intimate detail. There's one story about a woman writer is visited by all of the men who tried to suppress her writing voice for years. There's like, it's like great setups like that. And I just can't get over what a master she is of the short story form. Even though she really started out as a novelist, but and it's not, people can't always do those two things, as you may know from your from how far you've for your reading, but it's beautiful. There's like a great quote from the New York Times book review, the review that came out for hardcovers. In our time of anxiety and isolation, King writes stories to curl up in, by which I mean they afford us something rarely celebrated in literature, and that would be comfort. And so this is, it's not dark and angry. Again, like Tom said earlier, not changing the form of the short story. It's not avant-garde in any way, but there's a time and a place for that. And sometimes you do just want to curl up with a really good collection of stories with interesting characters. So that's 5 Tuesdays in Winter. And here's about as Halloweenish as I'm going to get. This is our little cat, Gossamer Rose. Can you see that?
No, what are we looking at?
You can't see her, huh? Oh, too bad.
Where's she at?
I don't know. I'll try to get her on next time, but I tried to share this. It was still sharing the screen. I don't know what was up, but
Oh,
it's all good. And thanks for listening.
love it. I love Lily King. You're so right about everything you said about her. And she's as lovely as a person as she is a writer. I mean, it is just,
She truly is.
she is amazing. And I do love Euphoria. Everything she touches is great.
Euphoria
So,
is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is great. I've met her a couple times. I had dinner with her with some booksellers, and she really is the real deal.
yeah. All right. Lightning round.
Lightning round. But first, I can't, there's a lot of Tom Benton TikTok videos that are, as they say, not safe for work, but this is perfect. This is the first one that came up. The caption is, Tom Benton is my favorite character in The Love Hypothesis. That's the music from Halloween, and this person looks like a terrifying human being. And Tom Benton is her favorite character.
I am gonna go grab some of those and just throw, and I'm just gonna tag you in all of them. Look, watch out.
All right, my lightning round is the new Robert Cray. So talk about authors that we love, both as writers and as people. I love Bob Crace, one of my favorite writers, just as a person. And then he delivers every couple of years, it seems like we have a new Elvis Cole and Joe Pike novel. The new one is called Racing the Light, so it's out tomorrow. And he always LA, LA is the setting. He always delivers. They're dark. They're not dark. They're LA. Through his eyes. They're funny. They're sardonic. He's got a great. Elvis is a character that you want to know how Elvis sees LA. And then there's, of course, they're mysteries. So they're kind of traditional mysteries, which are kind of out of fashion in a way. But just like, Lee Child, Michael Connelly, he delivers a professional, really enjoyable mystery every time. So Bob Crace's Racing the Light out tomorrow.
And if you're in San Diego on
Ooh,
Thursday, he will be at Warwick's.
And you will love him.
Oh, we love him.
Yeah.
He's just so entertaining. And he's just, because didn't he used to write for like Miami Vice?
Or NYPD Blue.
Or NYPD, one of those.
Yeah.
One of those he used to write for. So he's like got his old Hollywood chops, and he's just this quintessential LA guy.
Yeah.
But he's just so, we love Bob.
He's a good dude. And the books deliver. Every single one delivers. And
he's really generous. Like we had an author duo, Brandon Webb, and I can't think of I apologize of his co-writer. But Bob did the interview. He's just a really good guy. So if you're in San Diego, come and see him. Okay, so I have to finish the Beth Doherty story just because. And she goes, it's not that exciting, unfortunately. So she said she wishes she
has a couple of months to spice it up.
I know, really. You could write your own little story about this. So I guess she bought a copy of Great Believers, her third copy, on Independent Bookstore Day a couple years ago. And so in addition to giving people who bought from a particular Vermont bookstore a signed copy, she also said she put people in her next book. So she did ask later if she minded her character came up in a Google search before me, and she said no. So anyways, but it's still exciting to be in a book.
That's great. Yeah.
It's a great story. I love this. I love it. Okay, lightning round. Gabe.
Me. So my Bob Cray story.
Yeah.
He's been around 35 years, since Monkey's Raincoat. That's a long time. I remember I read that Bantam Mass Market original. And I remember going around town and telling everybody, I just read this really fun book by Robert Cray. And even like Romans, even Bruce Inglefield was like, I haven't read it yet. They didn't even have it. So Bob don't know that, but I helped him out.
Don't tell Bob that.
I spread the word.
I know.
The airline magazine had a short article there. So the Best American Series, these are the best-selling essay collections every year, and we have essays, we have short stories, we have food writing, we have science fiction, we have mystery and suspense, and I think there's one more.
They do sports and travel too.
That's the one.
Good.
Yeah,
Amanda Havin, they're back. Woo, woo.
Spoken like a bookseller.
My first chance of selling these, they were over at Houghton Mifflin, and we bought Houghton Mifflin. They came over to us earlier this year, and it's my first shot of selling these. They're really fun. There's just really good content in here, and they sell really, really well. I thought they sold pretty well. I had no idea. So people really like these. If you haven't, dipped your toe into the these collections, I would definitely suggest maybe just starting off with the essays. The food writing is always fun. Always are really interesting editors, which they add their own flavor to the selection. So they're a lot of fun. They'll be all over town. They'll be displayed when you walk into Warwick's. They will be there, all readily available, probably somewhere near the front of the store.
Yep.
And you can pick any one of these up. And just great anytime you feel hungry for a little bit something something really good to read. You can just pop one of those open and chill for a
And
few minutes.
That great, but I know we're talking gifts. I mean, all these are great gifts, but these are truly another one of those things. It's just a great, easy gift to give somebody. And this is the kind of, I mean, I say this every year, but it's like, don't bring a bottle of wine, bring a book when you get invited to somebody's house. So this would be one of those, even if you don't know what they read, you can bring the one on
Right.
essays or food or whatever.
Right,
So,
exactly.
yeah. I
Or
love
bring
those.
a bottle of wine and a book.
And a
Oh,
book.
there you go.
I
Okay.
I
There you
would
go.
say the same thing, Andrea.
Yeah.
I'm with you, girl.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
All right.
you
I'm
know,
just
I
saying if
know I
somebody's
keep-
on a budget.
Common
Yeah.
sense dictates wine
Yes.
in a book.
Wine.
Yes.
There you
I mean,
go.
come on.
Okay.
There's
No,
nothing
I
wrong
know
with
I
a nice,
keep on-
there's nothing wrong with a nice 2 buck chuck and Trader Joe's lovely wines for $4.
When I go to people's house, though, I just want them to serve me the brews. I don't want to bring my own booze.
Well, all I know is, I mean, I keep on talking about covers, but again, the cover treatments are really excellent on
Yeah.
these.
They
I
did a good
remember-
job this year because they switched them up.
Yeah, back in the day, like they were so bland. They,
Type.
they basically
exactly the
looked like
same.
early galleys that were just
Yes,
done on
yeah.
the cheap to get the manuscript out to people. And it had no flair.
No
It
flavor.
looked fantastic.
Yeah, they look really good this time. I
Yeah.
wasn't even sure if they were the same thing because the covers
Yeah.
looked so good.
I
was
know.
like, are
I
those
mean,
the
it
same?
looks
Yeah.
like a completely different series, and that's a good thing.
Bring them to life.
Really good thing. Okay, Amanda.
All right. And after my fumble last week, where everybody else did a children's book and I didn't do a children's book for the last one, I felt really left out, but that's okay. I'm back with my children's book. So this one is The First Notes, The Story of Do Re Mi by Julie Andrews and Emma Walton Hamilton. So this is the story of how we got notes and how there's this monk who decided or figured out that there really is only, the same notes and they're just played over and over again. And so he's the one that created music. And this kind of talks about how he figured it out, how he came to write these notes and how he figured out basically how to write music. And then of course it does have the classic story. So here you are, doe, a deer, a female deer, sew a needle pulling thread. Really beautifully illustrated. So super excited for this. Sound of Music is one of my all-time favorites. I love me some Julie Andrews. And I can always sing this beautiful song, Do Re Mi.
Have you gone to the live performance of it?
I have not gotten to the live.
Oh, my kids did that for me for my
Birthday
60th birthday at the Hollywood Bowl. It was so fun.
I bet it was.
Because it's like because I'm sure everyone sings along, right?
You totally sing along. It's got the orchestra playing. They hiss when the countess comes out. I mean,
Oh.
Do people dress up? Do they?
oh yes, there.
Oh
my God, it sounds amazing.
And then when Edelweiss plays, they do like you've got your light. It's
That
hilarious,
is so great.
but it's so spot on and it's so good.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to look at. I've only ever been to one sing along, and it was Grease.
Okay, this is it. The
So
Sound of
this is-
Music, Hollywood Bowl.
All right.
It's so good.
It
It's
sounds a little campy. Sounds
oh,
like they go camp.
but it's so brilliant. It's just brilliant. I love it.
Your kids, that's a good gift. They did a
Right?
good job.
They did a
Yeah.
really good job. No, and we went to it was like, and we did we got the box and they brought the food and we did the whole 9 yards. It was, yeah, they did it right. It was really good. Okay. Oh, and Andrea, I'm just started one of your Europa books, Postcard.
Oh,
So good.
that's gonna be a biggin.
Ooh,
Really good.
Ooh, so good. All right.
Yeah, they're excited about that one.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
good.
I'm gonna try this time to find this. Can you see our
Oh,
dear,
there. Yes.
our dear little now departed
Oh,
Gossamer Rose? Our little she was a beauty, and
Yes, she
so
was.
that's about as Halloween as I'm gonna get. She was a great cat.
she's gorgeous.
Yeah, she was great. Whoops. Okay, so I'm gonna try to screen share again. Sorry about that.
That's all right. I love seeing the cat.
So I wanted to talk, I've been waiting to talk about this one too. The Wolf Suit by Sid Sharp. This is a great kids debut. That it came out last week. And this is 120 pages in 1995. It's like an amazing deal. And I love this quote up here from Kirkus Reviews. Poignant affirmation that friendships can blossom when we are brave enough to reveal our true selves. Well, isn't that the truth, everyone?
Love it.
Now, like, this is like so great. So like, besides all the other great character names that we've been talking about, Tom Benton et al. Today, this sheep's name is Bellwether Rigwelter. Okay.
Somebody named that.
Yeah, and so he's lonely, and this story is basically he's a lonely little sheep that thinks he can protect himself by dressing up, because he's afraid of the forest, and he thinks that he can protect himself by dressing up as a wolf in a wolf suit. So this is him in his wolf suit. And this is just such a really wonderful story. And I love the illustrations. They just like, just jump out at you. And I can't say enough about this book. It's just so beautiful. It's hilarious. Adults who read this to kids, it's like a age 6 to 11, but I think this would be great to read to the younger kids, like, 5 and 6. You're going to love it. Adults who buy this book to read to their kids. It is absolutely like hilarious. And it deals with the pressures of conformity and conquering fear by finding your community. And also, like I said, the art is fabulous. So I really love this book. The Wolf Suit, 1999, 120 pages, worth every penny and then some. It's so great.
That's a lot that's a lot of pages for
A lot of pages.
That's a lot of
is.
pages for a little kid's book.
It
I love
is, and
it.
that's why I think it's good to read to the younger ones. But
Yeah.
it's like, it's so fabulous, and it just like, it's in that you saw. It's kind of like early graphic novel style. So like, there's pages that you can flip through pretty quickly as you're seeing him fashion his wolf suit. Bellwether.
I love it. Bellwether. Love it. All right, I got to share because we've got some great events coming up. So if you are a Lee and Andrew Child fan, there's still time to buy a book and get into that event, which is a virtual event tomorrow at 11 p.m. Pacific. If you are in San Diego and you are a Big Bang Theory fan, John Ross Bowie will be here next week in person to talk about No Job for a Man, his new novel. Gina Davis fans, Dying of Politeness, she's going to be down at the Hotel del Coronado on the 12th. Barbara Kingsolver fans, Tuesday, this is virtual. No need to, you can get into this one for free. So hop in on that one. This is getting tons of reviews, attribution. There's just so many. There's Bob, the kitten lady. If you're into cats, come to the Encinitas Library. Hannah Shaw, fun fact, is Tommy Shaw from Styx' daughter. So
right, we did an earlier book by her, right?
Yes, you did.
Right.
Yes.
It's all coming
Yes.
back to me
It's all
now.
coming back to you now. Okay. Great week of recommendations. Halloween. Get to put my bones away now for another 12 months.
Have to blow out the candle.
Blow out the candle. So thanks everybody. It was a really fun. Thanks for coming in with us on Halloween. This will be on YouTube. Amanda, you're good trying to put all those events on there. And wait till next year. We got some good stuff coming next year too. Got James Patterson coming again. Love it. All right. Thanks everybody. Have a good
Bye.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Bye. Thanks for watching.